Dear students, hope you are fine and doing well. In this video, I'm going to give you detailed understanding of the non-fictional work by Amitav Ghosh, The Great Derangement, Climate Change and the Unthinkable. This is a non-fiction by Amitav Ghosh. He penned this in the year 2016. In The Great Derangement, the entire work is focused on the narration part where he talks about the stories, and the second part consists of different theoretical understanding of the great derangement that is happening in the environment. As you have the story section in your syllabus, so I am going to focus on the story section as it is. In the story section which you have, the major concern that Amitav Ghosh is raising, that is, in the work of fiction, people want to read something which is entertaining, which will help them to have some relaxing feeling. So they do not want to read anything in the form of fiction which has some disturbing connotation which can threaten their existential stability. So as a result, Ghosh said, in fictional work, the editors, the writers, the publishers, they do not encourage anybody to write anything about climate change and the derangement of the environment that we are facing these days. So fiction is a unsuitable medium for presenting the difficult truth of life, that is climate change. So in this segment, he talks about an important concept which you should know. It is called ecological refugee. What is ecological refugee? He said Amitav Ghosh's forefathers, they were from East Pakistan, which is Bangladesh. As the river Padma in Bangladesh changed its course, suddenly Padma actually consumed it consumed so many areas of locations, habitants, human settlements, that Amitav Ghosh's forefathers had to relocate to India, somewhere in Patna. So he said his forefathers can be called the, in the present, the understanding, ecological refugee. So ecological refugee is a term which is meaning the refugee situation caused by the sudden change or drastic change of the ecology and environment. Refugee, the term in general, is associated with the political or socio-cultural turmoil, but these days, in the context of the ecological degradation, we are using the term ecological refugee. So ecological refugee, the term has very important connotation in the work by Amitav Ghosh, where he talks about the enormous power of the environment which can destabilize, which can unstable your fixed identity, and it is causing threat, existential threat to the flora and fauna of the region. So, after this discussion of the ecological refugee, he talks about the different sporadic yet interconnected experiences of ecological disaster, environmental calamities, natural calamities, so that people can understand. In the medium of non-fiction, he must confess, he must place the undigestible truths about the degrading condition of the ecology and environment around us. So first of all, he talks about the 1978 huge cyclone in Delhi. When he was the student of Delhi University, he experienced personally how devastating, how difficult, how unbelievable that kind of cyclone was there in Delhi. But he said the enormous power which the local wind, local cloud gathered, and based on that, the kind of wind power which caused havoc within 10 minutes in Delhi. So that description is really very horrible, and he said it is unbelievable to the people who are living in Delhi and outskirts, because this kind of storm is very unbelievable in the location of Delhi. And next he said the journalists, they did not find any suitable word, lexicon, to define the kind of natural calamities witnessed by the people in Delhi. So they called it cyclone, but later the meteorological department came to the conclusion that it was not a cyclone, it was a tornado, the horrible sea storm which is not supposed to take place in a plain land like Delhi. So he talks about the difficulty of environmental disaster, and through our thoughtless human action, how did we pollute our environment, and as a result it is very difficult to piece together all the fragmented pieces of environmental harmony and stability. Later, he talks about the horrible storm in New York and other places of the globe. So, in these interconnected threads of the stories, he continuously talking about our human responsibility, our mindless actions which cause all these disasters and devastations, and as a result, we need to proceed in a thoughtful manner so that environment can be restructured, reconstructed by our human sensible understanding and belief. And as a result, he clearly talks about environmental stability is much needed for the sustenance of the flora and the fauna. If we are unable to promote, unable to preserve our environmental virginity, then the environment will be very difficult to control. And now the human beings mindlessly extracting resources from the environment, they are destroying the environment, but the time has already arrived when human beings are ready to be destroyed by the environment. So in the essay he beautifully talks about the necessity to have the balance between our human action, human thought, and the human lackadaisical thought that these are unbelievable in our regions. These incidents, this sporadic ecological derangement is happening in various parts of the globe, but our part of the world is safe. So he said, do not come under this kind of complacency that we are safe. Nobody is safe in this deranged climate. Everybody should take the ethical responsibility for restructuring, reconstructing the environment from the ethical, ecological perspective, so that ultimately we will be able to save ourselves and the flora and fauna around us. So the story section is talking about what is the necessity of the non-fiction to project serious beliefs and thoughts regarding the environmental degradation which is posing a serious threat to human life and human existence. So this is nothing very difficult to say, and for the understanding it is better to read the section of the cyclone in Delhi which he experienced as a student of Delhi University. He described the massacre, the devastation caused by the cyclone, and also the understanding of the term ecological refugee is of utmost important in these sections. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video, please do like and share the video, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more similar updates. Stay tuned. Bye bye.